You know, some might say that Blackpool rocks. Well, it used to rock, didn't it? If you remember, and for many people over here in the United Kingdom and no doubt around the world, all of us at some point have been, if you've been lucky enough to visit, the marvellous seaside resort that is Blackpool in Lancashire. Famous for so many things, including, of course, its wonderful tower, magnificent ballroom that Strictly Come Dancing comes from, and, of course, a little stick of Blackpool rock alongside the brilliant George Formby. Not forgetting, of course, the fact that they still have trams. I wish they still had the older ones. And let's not forget some of the biggest stars of, the biggest eras perform there, including Mae West, Frank Sinatra, Marlene Dietrich. It could attract everybody. Now, what it's attracting is this. Let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time. Lovely to have your company. And yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Because quite frankly, some of the councillors now over in Blackpool in Lancashire have had enough. And this is because most of the hotels are now ram-packed with illegals, the invaders, the migrants, whatever you want to call them. Now, I told you before how dangerous it has been for people up in Blackpool. Crime is at an all-time high. Business is at rock bottom, to coin a phrase. And here's where it gets even more interesting, you see, because if you were having a stroll on the prom, sitting on the benches, you can't nod off with your knotted hanky on, paraphrasing, but you know what I'm saying, because the fear is that you're going to be circled by people, and I'm not trying to shock people, this is fact. I've been told this. You get approached all the time for money with beggars, all that sort of stuff, and it just spoils that whole holiday experience, doesn't it? Now the council themselves are saying it's ruining the town and they want to redeploy the migrants somewhere else. How about deploying them back to where they came from illegally? Why should we be stuck with them? That's what many people are now saying. Here's where it gets even more interesting though, because for many years all the big conferences came from there, particularly the Labour Party. I remember seeing Jim Callaghan there way back in the late 70s, and what was fascinating about that was, I was a child by the way, I just thought I'd point that out, but what was fascinating was they brought a lot of books, a lot of bookings, and quite a bit of attention to the town. Now, here's where it gets interesting again, because Sir Keir Starmer, alongside his deputy Angela Rayner, could do a lot to invigorate that if they held their conference rather than in Manchester, but back at the seaside resort, maybe taking it for 3 nights at the fabulous Winter Gardens complex, filling it with people, filling the hotels, the bars, the restaurants, that sort of stuff. But this is exactly how much Sir Keir, Angela and the rest of the Labour Party care about the once beloved working class seaside resort. No, they've no plans to go there. No, you see, the reason really being is the fact that they do not want to be approached, targeted by the mess that they've created on the seafront, on the promenade, all of that sort of stuff. Now, what you'll hear over the next couple of days is they may either thinking about it or that, but no, they're going to be sticking with where they've been before, which predominantly has been Manchester. However, they may go and do some sort of bullet points out there, hubs and stuff like that, just to appease the locals. And it's a shame, as I say, because this once magnificent town is now a shadow, a shell of its former self. Now you could say this is not all down to the current government, but it's suddenly speeding up, with more and more hotels being requisitioned to fill with those invaders. And once again, it's the likes of Angela Rayner and Sir Keir Starmer who keep well away once they've ruined your town. And the bottom line is they could do a lot to reverse this, because this will be good for the economy. But once again, Sir Keir is, never here, too busy on a plane, and Angela's enjoying the 3 homes fully heated, all paid for by you, the British taxpayer. You feel like Blackpool rocks now? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.